Have you wondered why you decided to see this TEDx talk? Word sexy in the title. Before we get to sexy, I like to start with the question, why? So we can ask ourselves, why am I doing what I do? And the simple answer could be, yeah, I go to work, I do what I do because I want to earn money. Why? Because if I earn money, then one day I can fulfill one of my dreams. I can buy a house. And if I buy a house, then I have more space to live. Maybe a garden, maybe bigger garage, bigger living room. And my family feels better. My wife, my kids, they feel happier. And if they feel happier, I feel happier too. So we've been asking ourselves this why, and why, since the ancient times. And the answer always remains the same. We do the things because we want to feel better. We want to feel happier. And when we look around, we see that since the ancient times, the world around us has slightly changed. I mean, we see all these electric cars, we can transplant a heart, and we have so great access to data and technology. We could even say that in many areas, our life become more comfortable than the life of any king who lived on that planet. And on the top of it, we have this. A small box in our pocket. I love to compare to the genie from the fairy tale of Aladdin and his lamp. So we can grab it with our fingertips and say, "Genie, genie, I wish for pizza." And then, boom, within 30 minutes, we get it. Or we can say, "Genie, genie, I wish for brand new shoes." And then, boom, next day, we unbox the new pair of shoes. Or we can say, "Genie, connect me with my friend in the second corner of the world, Australia." And then, within seconds, we see and hear that person in real time. So when we look at all of these inventions, we can say that we are lucky enough to live in the best times of human's history. However, when we look on the other side of the coin, there is something really strange going on. I mean, so many people around the world doesn't like their job. Actually, the majority of people declare nowadays the symptoms of burnout. Depression is predicted to be #1 disease by 2030 worldwide. And although we created so many such great devices to be in touch, to stay connected, it seems that we've never coped so badly with maintaining relationships, especially when we look at how many people get divorced. And what's most sad about this is the fact that many of these problems, which were reserved only for us adults, now refer also to teenagers and even kids. So how is it possible that since the ancient times, we strive to be happy? In meanwhile, we create such a great world, and at the same time, so many people are so far from feeling happy. This question was blowing my mind. I was thinking about it a lot. Especially that even in my family, I have a very close relative who suffers from depression for many, many years. And I remember as I found out, I was really shocked that this person was hiding it from me and at the same time suffering so badly. And I was trying to figure that out, why is this world so, as even myself, although I have really good life, I had a time in my life when I really struggled, when I hardly could get out of bed. When I sold my company, I had almost no energy. I felt completely burnout. And I was trying to figure that out also as a father of 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, thinking, how can I explain this word to them? Why is this so? How can I prepare them to deal with possibly such hardships when they get older? In 2010, there was a research at Harvard University. In that research, researchers were asking people 3 very simple questions at random times of the day. The first question was, what are you doing at the moment? So, I'm listening to the guy on stage. Or I'm at work. Or I'm on holiday. The second question was, are you at the moment of what you do thinking about this? Or are you with your thoughts somewhere else? Meaning, so I'm listening to that guy on TEDx. However, I'm thinking, yeah, what I will watch tonight on Netflix. Or I'm at work thinking about the weekend. Or I'm on holiday thinking about my projects at work. Sounds familiar? And the third question was, how do you feel? What emotions do you experience? Happiness, fear, anger, anxiety, excitement? And out of this research, researchers came with the following conclusion. The first was that so many people, when they do one thing, they're with their thoughts somewhere else. And the second, that when it happens so, we experience unpleasant emotions. We literally feel unhappy. So what's remarkable in that research is the fact that in 2010, the Genie, the great invention, was not so packed with all these apps and push-up notifications, which put us nowadays so easily and so often in different places. Second research was conducted a few years later in USA, in California. In that research, researchers wanted to check how often do office workers jump from task to task. So, office worker works on his main project, but somewhere here he has mailbox, communicator, calendar, browser, Genie, of course, and somebody can interrupt on random time of day and say, hey, do you have a minute for me? So the scientists wanted to check how often they switch from the main task to Genie to calendar, browser, and so on. So let's make a guess. How do you think? How often were they switching? Every 15 minutes? Answer A. Answer B. Every 5 minutes? Or were they switching every 47 seconds? So raise your hands, please. So who thinks they were switching every quarter of an hour? Who thinks they were switching every 5 minutes? All right. And who thinks they were switching every 47 seconds? Whoa! So I see that you knew about this research. Or this 47 seconds is somehow familiar with you, is it? What does it mean? When you jump every 47 seconds, it means that in the course of the day, you switch from task to task more than 400 times. Somebody will say, all right, but everybody works like this all around the world. It's the way we stay productive. However, the research showed that it was not. What's more, people who are working in this manner experience significantly higher level of stress. And this way of work led to burnout. So we started with happiness. We said that we strive to be happy. We want to fulfill our dreams, reach our goals. But how can you do it when you're in poor emotional state and you're unproductive? Is it possible? I'd like you to feel it even better. Let's think about an experiment. So imagine that you are the boss, the CEO of a company. One day you walk into your company and you say, hi, we'll make an experiment, all right? So you divide all your guys into groups, Group A and Group B. Both groups will work on the same market, with the same products, same prices. Basically, everything is the same. The only difference will be that you guys from Group A, you will have to drink 4 beers in the course of the day, all right? So the question is, how do you think which group will perform better? Group A, the drinkers, they drink 4 beers in the course of the day, or Group B, non-drinkers, in terms of performance, creativity, efficiency. So raise your hands again. So who thinks the drinkers will perform better? All right. Don't test it. It's only for TEDx purposes, okay? And who thinks that group B will perform better? All right. I'm happy about that answer. So, but some of you raise your hand for the drinkers. So, to put it clear, okay, I would agree that maybe in the first few days, the drinkers would be slightly more creative. But I think that none of us in this room has any doubt that in the long run, the drinkers would perform much worse. Why? Because we all know that drinking and working is not a good combination. And driving and drinking is even worse. But why am I actually mentioning driving and drinking? Because science shows that when you drive, when you're supposed to be focused here, and you get distracted here by the genie, your level of focus drops significantly. It's as if you were after drinking 4 beers. So what's the difference between the driver who's supposed to be focused here and gets distracted here? A person at work who's supposed to be focused here and gets distracted here? Or a person at home sitting with his friends or family should be supposed to be focused here and gets distracted here? Is there any difference? Doesn't it lead us to a conclusion that so many of us, in so many everyday situations, act as if we were drunk, without drinking any beers? How crazy is that? So how crazy are actual times we live in? You know, I was thinking before that event that if I had come to the organizers of TEDx some time ago and would say, you know, guys, I would like to speak about clear and focused mind. So probably these guys would look at me and would say, yeah, very good idea, very interesting topic. However, you know, be back like in 10 years. Why? Because people want to hear about cool and sexy topics. This is boring. Clear and focused mind, this is boring. People want to hear about such cool and sexy things as productivity, creativity, happiness, reaching our goals, fulfilling our dreams. And this, clear and focused mind, sorry, this is boring. All right. So let's reverse the question. Let's ask ourselves, so what's more sexy in your life than clear and focused mind? Let's have a look at 3 of our most important areas of our life. So firstly, the area of our professional life. So what's more cool and sexy than being at the peak of your efficiency, being at the peak of your creativity, when you are using the most powerful tool which was ever invented in the universe, our mind, on one condition, that it's clear and focused. Secondly, in the area of relationships, what's more cool and sexy than having better quality of relationships with all those people we care about, we love, family, friends, kids, and our partner, while we are there, while our mind is clear and focused. And thirdly, in probably the most important area, the area of relation we all have, the relation we so often neglect, we so often put in the first place, relationship with ourselves. So when we look at these 3 areas, area of professional life, relationships, and how do we feel with ourselves, we suddenly see that we feel happier in all of these areas. And we see that we suddenly move in the direction of happiness, direction we all strive to be since the ancient times. So isn't it a paradox that living in such a great world, such abundant world, so many people are so desperately looking for a magic pill, magic solution for happiness? And the solution is so simple. It's just here, just around the corner. We all have access to it, and it's completely free. It's just our clear and focused mind. So shouldn't be then clear and focused mind be considered as the most cool, the most sexy thing in the universe? Shouldn't we redefine what's really cool and really sexy is? And at the end, in the context of what's been said today, in the context of 47 seconds, in the context of the genie and switching, and in the context of staying drunk in some situations, I would like to leave you today with one very simple question. And the question wouldn't be, what will happen if you do something about that? But the question would be, what will happen if you do nothing about that? Thank you.